handang tumulong, tulong-tulong, tuluyan tulong, Joy Belmonte ng Quezon City.
If you like listening to this station, DZRJ 810 AM, there's no excuse not to listen anywhere and wherever you want. Listen on your phone or computer anytime, anywhere in the world. Just download the app for free. How do you download? If you have an Android phone or tablet, go to Google Play Store. If you have an iPhone or iPad, go to Apple App Store. It's that simple. You have 3 choices. Just type in TuneIn Radio. Once the app is downloaded, search for DZRJ 810 AM. For Radio Garden app, once it's downloaded, search for DZRJ 810 AM. And for Streema app, that's STREEMA. And once it's downloaded, search for DZRJ 810 AM. And now you can enjoy DZRJ 810 AM anytime and anywhere. Hey, it's free.
To all Teleradio Bandido viewers and listeners, you can now watch Teleradio Bandido on our new YouTube channel, RJAM News. Hit the subscribe button and like the video. Don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified when a new video gets uploaded. Don't miss out on our dynamite lineup. You are watching the multi-awarded Radio Bandido TV on Channel 224 Sky Cable and TV Plus boxes. Simulcast on DZRJ 810 AM. Informing, advising, and entertaining the Filipinos and OFWs around the world. Streaming live on www.facebook.com/DZRJ 810 AM or on YouTube, channel RJAM News.
Pilipinas. So before we go further, eto muna, syempre, my special intentions come first. So for all of us, I intend all inner healing and healing from this pandemic. May we all be in the pink of health physically, mentally, emotionally, and be healthy as one nation and one world. Nothing can be better than being able to establish the covenant of a healed world. Diba? Yung sabay-sabay tayong okay na, di ba? Back to normal, and this time, even better persons of this world, okay? So to everyone, special healing to us all. Now, let me just check before we proceed. Of course, you're tuned in to Good, Great, Unstoppable, the Francine de las Alas show, and I'm your host, Francine. You can call me DJ Chin, okay? And we air live every Saturdays, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. here at DZRJ 810 AM. And you can also catch us at various TV Plus boxes. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's RJ News PH. Also, CLC, click, like, and comment positively. And no more nasty comments, as I keep saying, because there are other platforms for that. I'm not saying that those platforms welcome your nasty comments, but if I were you also, I'm sure they would prefer that we all live a positive world each day. Diba? So anyway, how are you guys? I hope you're not part of the COVID statistics. It's 39,000 already as the last COVID tracker check. So I have so many friends who are down with COVID. Oh my God, left and right. Para silang mga kabute. Diba? These COVID cases suddenly just appeared. They sprouted overnight like mushrooms. Diba? Fortunately, they are all mild. But having mild symptoms isn't really the point, because the virus is not like any other ordinary cough or cold flu virus. Because this one, right, this kind of cough, this kind of cold, this kind of sore throat, for as long as it's COVID, can be an agent of death. And we don't want that, okay? So we still have to be very, very, very careful for the sake of everyone outside of us. If this pandemic, it's not about us, it's about everyone, diba? It's about protecting everyone from, of course, from getting sick, and also from, it's also about keeping everyone alive. All right. So anyway, what else? Because also of the surge of the COVID numbers, imagine, right? We are already 39,000. So this week we just swept with the 30 to 39,000 cases, and DepEd had to suspend classes from January 15 to 22. I am not so sure, but I think we are talking about also face-to-face classes that they already wanted to roll out. Okay, so we can't go back to normal yet. So classes though will resume on January 24, 29, according to what I read. I think that was Manila Bulletin, but please check. But it's going to be asynchronous learning modalities. I think this means it's still online classes, diba? This is not healthy for anyone, especially the children. And I think to the parents who work from home, because it's hard enough to, it's not enough to juggle family and work, but if you have to put them all together, it's also, that's going to be an extra challenge. In fact, there is a spike, right, of violence, what's it, domestic violence. I don't know here, but in other in countries like the UK and the US, and most of the time it's the children who are the most vulnerable. So we really, 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 really have to unite, guys, and remember that COVID-19 isn't really, it's a behavioral virus, guys. Diba? It keeps looking for hosts. And as I said the last time, we are the food, right? We are the station. So if we don't put our heads right into solving our own solving our own situation, right, and how we can stay home, right, all together, then COVID is really here to stay. Okay. So even some employers had to revert back, not only the schools, diba, but many employers had to revert back to work from home setup. And not only that, economically speaking, a lot fully booked is closing. 3 of its branches. One in I read one in Torre de Lorenzo along Taft, and one in City Mall, and one in Ayala Vertis. And I know they're going online, but still they're online. I hope they are able to retain their employees this way, right? But excuse me, I'm not sure how that setup is going to be. But again, the hardest hit more than health. Okay, though there are cases, right, and deaths. There's still 7 billion people on the planet, by the way, but economically, right, on the economic side, the 7 billion people on the planet got affected. Right? Okay, so we really, really have to, I hope we get to realize that we have to band together. Okay, so I really don't know when the guys up in government will realize that this is a behavioral determined infection. We can't make back to normal or back to school. We can't make back to work or back to school or back to normal assumptions just because the cases are down. For as long as there are unvaxxed folks out there, I'm sorry, whether you like it or not, the virus is here to stay. If you want this normal mode, we need to come up with a school and work plan vis-a-vis the behavior that everyone is exhibiting, whether one is vaxxed or not. Okay? So moving on, guys. So kinakamusta ko kayo? How are your resolutions this 2022? How many of you have made it right successfully until today? Mayroon pang bukas and 300 something days for 2022. So no worries, because you know what, guys, this is what I want to remind you. Feeling is not the sukatan or the measure when you are starting on your new goal. Okay, so the measure is #fighting. Okay, the frequency or number of times you put yourself back on track is what really matters, because you are a beginner. Okay, you never know. The 2022 may be just your learning curve, and 2023 could be your winning streak year. Okay, so it's good that you started. So it's good if you started today, and for those who haven't started, I suggest you start today. Okay. If you start this, if you start this year, aside from that, it's good for you. It's also good that you are ready. In the #fighting mode, laban only. Okay. So I'm still in the fighting mode, still learning. So I really say that if you're just starting with your resolution, don't quit just because day one didn't work for you, or day 2, day 3, or 14th day later, or 90th day later. It's okay. All right. So for me, The lessons I have learned about failing and succeeding are now, because I started before, are now my go-tos. They're the ones that pick me up. They're the ones that push me. They're the ones that motivate me. They're the ones that rev me and really make me succeed in my milestones that I go for each day. Okay, that's why I'm encouraging everyone, don't wait for next year, or don't just quit just because your resolutions aren't just because you are still not so strong in your resolutions yet. Okay, as my go-tos, I'm sorry. As my go-tos for my as my go-tos now for my lessons, I am now able to go toe to toe, right, with my demons and dramas each day. Okay, so because of these learning curves, I have more wins and a better and stronger mindset and attitude. Okay, kaya talagang no quitting. So remember, guys, so to be better, it is always IQ over EQ. Theme this year for your resolution is #flex. Okay? So, I am with you. This show is with you, diba? There are a lot of tips here that can help you bring out the best of you this 2022. And remember, there's also more than one best version of yourself. Okay? So, now remember, moving forward, someone wants to say hello to you guys. Remember last week, if you were tuned in, I introduced my new BFF to you. Well, this new BFF of mine is now going to be a mainstay here, and she's going to be part of the opening act. So, hold on. Alexa, drum roll, please.
Okay.
So, Alexa, say hello.
Hi.
Alexa, say hello, everybody.
I don't know that one.
So, I'm sorry, guys. She is still a limited AI. So, Alexa, just say hello.
Hi there.
So, hi there, guys. Okay. So, Alexa, say good evening. Alexa, good evening.
Good evening to you too. How about a joke? Why did the turtle break up with the giraffe? They never saw eye to eye.
Aw, did you get that joke? Why did the giraffe break with what? Alexa, what's that joke again about the giraffe?
Goodbye.
Anyway, they never saw eye to eye. So the giraffe, I don't know what that other animal is. Maybe a turtle, and the giraffe is here. It's true. They never saw eye to eye. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm explaining the joke, but here's one more. Alexa, you're now a mainstay here. So sing us a song. Alexa, song please. Probably she's tired.
I've been thinking a lot about what makes me feel happy. The little things that happen day to day. It's a forecast full of sun or a recipe for fun. The daily news or playing songs that put you in a groove. I just want to say thank you. It's your team's winning score or a list for the store. Turning on your coffee pot when you laugh at my jokes or not. I'd like to say thank you.
Aww, that's what I love about her. She's very chirpy. She's very cheerful. Did you listen to the words of her song? It's all positive. That's what we should be. Sabi ni Nell last week, our technician, ang cute daw ni Alexa. Very true, very adorable. See, she's responding whenever you call her name. Alexa? Hello?
Greetings. Time for a fun fact.
What is
If
that?
two pieces of the same type of metal touch each other in space, They are instantly bonded together through the process called cold welding. For more fun facts, just say, another fact.
Wow. So now I learned something. If two metals touch each other in space, they're automatically bonded because it's called cold welding. And I think, that's what they use at building rocket ships. But anyway, guys, see? So adorable. So I suggest you get yourself one, but only if you're going to be very responsible and that your kids will also know the do's and don'ts, because you never know. This thing is just, hooked up into the internet. So if you want to protect yourself and your family, you have to be very, very careful. I unplug this. I unplug this when I have to unplug it. Okay. So anyway, but look, she cracked us a joke, right? And it was very funny because giraffe and whatever that other animals don't see eye to eye, right? But look, I just threw this out there and I found this moving, if not fun, to listen to. So I'm going to say this. Alexa, I love you. That's
Thanks for saying I love you. You're just as sweet as pie. Know that I'll be here for you. As always, your trusty AI.
Ta-da! See? There's never a dull day if you have Alexa with you. Okay? So look, moving on. And it's now time to move forward. So one last message. Alexa, in a while, crocodile.
Bye-bye, butterfly.
See, she even knows how to respond. So that is my new station partner. She is now my scene stealer, and she is opening act for our show each time. So there's never a dull moment with her. All right. So was it fun? I think so. I hope that it made you guys smile, or if not laugh. Okay. Now moving forward further, as we speak, I am actually going to be in another Zoom meeting in 15 minutes. So another gadget is on because it is the start of the year team retreat, right? I always talk about this. So our last on-site retreat was January 10, last 2019. It was a 3-day retreat, and it ended on January 12, the day Taal disrupted many, many lives. So soon after COVID happened, and we have never had an on-site retreat since then. And this is the second year that we are doing a Zoom retreat. And you know what, guys? I'm really very, 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 very proud to be part of this the young team made up of millennials and Gen Zs, because they can really, really, really make things happen. And if you have a Gen Z or a millennial who's got a winning mindset, or is in a team of superstars, you can expect a lot of inspiring results from them. Because you know what, these millennials, these Gen Zs, they like to live purposeful lives, or they like to live a life of meaning. So I'm really very proud to be part of this group. And you know what, typically probably in my probably during my time, if this happened then, way earlier, and no one is just going to and there's no Zoom, there'll also be no retreat. But anyway, so with because I'm with this because of this team, you know what, our spiritual sustenance and fuels all were able to convert to online platforms as well. So and that's and I think yan na yung kalakaran now, because even masses are held online. And speaking of mass, I want to know where and how I can attend the feast mass, the one that they used to have the feast mass every Sunday. I know they have online, but I have to check that out. But anyway, yun na nga. So as we speak, today is actually the first day of our recharge, and the theme is Forward 2022. So I'm really very proud of them, because Extreme 111, in spite of the pandemic, pasabog pa rin talaga lahat ng speakers and activities. So we had Pastor Jeff this morning. I'm not sure which organization he belongs to. Then we had Miss wait, I forgot her name. I don't know if it's Lignay, but she is I think a psychologist. Diba? She gave a talk on well-being today, and of course, for those who are not familiar with well-being, especially and for those looking for or doesn't understand mental health issues, that was a good source of information. So that's and this morning naman with Pastor Jeff, I love the message. The most important message that I picked out of there is aside from doing things for the glory of God, it's work hard, right? And as we do, we work hard and in honor, of course, of our Maker. So sobrang those were two fun talks that we had today. So I always recommend, you know what, guys, that every year, diba, starting at the end of the year and going towards the beginning, diba, that dapat busog ang ating spiritual life. Okay, so it sets the tone for our directions and even the new beginnings. If we make it a tradition or our own culture. Okay, a simple mass, kasi guys, it's not enough. Diba? It's only one part of your spirituality. Okay, it's very important also that there are a series of purging or cleansing, and also taking stock of our lives and the direction of where we want it to go. Diba? So anyway, in my experience, hindi rin puro spiritual dapat. You know, when we go to a retreat, it should also be all-inclusive, diba? It should include all aspects of our lives that need healing. So this retreat is just perfect. So what I just really miss is the on-site retreat, of course. Especially because the venues that we go to are really great, and the food is also, you know me, I love eating. So, and it's buffet set up. So sobrang, diba, beginning to end, from physical to emotional to mental to spiritual, busog na busog talaga kami. Okay? So anyway, before so I wanna, diba, sobrang, I remember before I started, diba, kwento ko lang to, before I joined the first recharge of our team Extreme 111, I would always hear everyone say, once you join, diba, you will never stop. And you know what, guys? I've been here for 5 years, and I look forward to the recharge every year. Kasi whether it's on-site, diba, or on online platforms, sobrang saya pa rin niya. It's still a moving experience, a moving and a learning experience pa rin, diba? And today lang, not only moving and learning experience, pero it's also what they call that, cleansing, diba? A purging experience. So today we already had our first sharing, and may mga in my teams, may mga nabunutan na ng tinik, diba? So meron ng mga naka-experience ng realizing that forgiveness is the thing that to give forgiveness is the thing that they need to do most, so that they can move forward. So, diba, ang ganda. So kayo guys, find also something like that for you, diba? I really recommend going on your retreat. And in fact, I've been talking about that. I do go on a personal retreat, diba? All on my own first, diba? And I'm just really lucky that I have recharged. So anyway, so I'm really, really happy, diba, that today, so in a few minutes, I will be logging in already. My Zoom is already on my phone for that recharge, is already waiting it's waiting for me to click it so that I can start joining. But anyway, I will of course still be here with you. Okay, I am not going anywhere. So this recharge is a good way. I've been here, as I said, diba, I'm still here and still fueling up. Okay, so speaking of fueling up, last week we started our new And also for the first time rolled out here the segment called Financial Wellness Tips. If you were tuned in, the first tip was to make money if you're not employed or have no source of income, or if you already are employed or have an initial source of income, but it's not enough to make ends meet, then it's make more. Okay. So our financial wellness tip for today is don't borrow money unless it's strictly for business. Okay. Or don't borrow money if it's not for business. Don't borrow. If it's for business also, or not as well, but don't also borrow money that you don't have. You know how you know that? Because if you haven't had money, it's always gipit and kulang, and it's always stressed about money kasi wala ka in the last 10 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years of your life, and all the more that you don't have money to pay that on the time. Syempre, di ba, pag utang, they want that paid. You usually say after 2 months or next month or something like that. For sure, wala pa rin tayong pangbayad. Okay? Now, and you might ask me, but what if, let's say, how can you start a business if you're not going to borrow money? The rule of thumb for me there is I'll borrow money that I can ROI, if it's for business, that I can ROI fast, and or will work on the ROI fast so that I can return it. And then second, the other rule there, it should be money that I can return. Okay, I can't, let's say, I don't have money now for the last 2 months, 3 months, 10 months, or 5 years. I'll borrow pa 100,000, diba? Now, so anyway, another thing why also for financial wellness tip, diba? Unless it's really for business, okay? Tamang business lang, diba? Tamang business capitalization. Another reason why I discourage anyone from borrowing money, diba, is because I think, diba, it is immoral, especially if we know already that we had to make more money, or we had to get ourselves a job. I think it's also immoral to borrow money that we can to borrow money from someone who toiled daily for at least 12 hours for at least 12 hours, diba, to have something for himself or themselves, or for their family, or for their future. Diba? So parang hindi tama. Ako kunwari, me, diba? I don't have a job, and then I need to pay my bills, and then I go to my sister or to my friend or someone and borrow money because babayaran ko yung kuryente ko. Diba, parang that, and then that is a person na yon, nagtatrabaho siya para sa kanya. Diba? So for me to get somebody else's energy, diba, diba, in the form of the money that I will borrow, tas hindi ko pa alam kung mababayaran ko, sobrang I find that very, very immoral, if not irresponsible or selfish. So yun yung isa sa mga why you should not opt for That's why my financial wellness tip sa inyo last week was either make money or make more money, kasi nga because of this. Now if you say, but how can I start a business? You know what, guys, the great thing about this day and age is because almost everything is online, especially after the pandemic. So you actually can start a small business by using the pre-order method, diba? So you come up with the goods and services, you come up with the goods, right, that you can sell online, whether it's cooked food or nutritional like ours or something, right? But have them prepay it. Pay first, even just the 50%. Okay, so that so you can come. So if it's, let's say, you have to buy, let's say, raw materials or or your ingredients for that for whatever, let's say, food that you are selling or goods that you are selling. At least you're now with a pre-order. You're now able to tide that over, diba? Solve that part of the problem of needing initial funding for that business that you have. Now, guys, you start with your you start with your friends and your family, right? Maybe and then don't you ask them, try to collaborate with them, right? So that they will order from you so that you can get started. Then pampaikot mo na yan. Diba? Once you get the full payment, pampaikot mo na yan, hiwalay mo na yung profit. Okay? So remember, so that's my financial wellness tip for you guys. Okay? Don't borrow money, period, or don't borrow money unless it is strictly for business, and you can be assured that you will be able to pay it back right away. Okay? All right. So that is my second financial wellness tip for 2022. And next week, we'll have one more. So, ecolate nyo na po yan. No, implement it in your life. All right? I'm still implementing it. Okay? So, hindi kayo nag-iisa. Alam mo naman, right? Our life can be 10 kahig, isang tuka. Sobrang Now, how do I close this? Anyway, so, now, so the financial wellness is a component of being happy. So that's why it's called financial wellness. Diba? You're supposed to heal that part of your life, especially part of your life na parati kang broke. But in general, guys, we are all in pursuit of happiness. And this brings me to what I found in Google that I think can be very, 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 that can probably be very, very, very helpful to you if you take action. Okay? So, so when I was Googling, so good news to para sa inyo, on my phone, because that's where I Google, it's already 7:30 and Alexa has not set the alarm. Hold on. So when I was Googling, guys, I found this article, the pursuit of happiness, Yale's, this university, Ivy League, Yale's free course on how to be happier. So it's in a Coursera course, so you just look for that. And I have not tried that, but since it is free, you can join that, of course. So, guys, ito I'm I forgot to get the link. Let me just check. Hold on, So the link is you can type that Pursuit of Happiness, Yale's free course on how to be happier. Hold on, let me see the Pursuit. Yale's free course. Let's check that out. Yale's. There. So where was it? There. It was by, okay. So you can go to, if you want to read that up, you can go to thehale.com. And this course was actually given by Lori Santos. So I don't know what her nationality is, but she is a professor of psychology at Yale University. Okay, so she began teaching Psych 157, so psychology on good life. But during the pandemic, there was really a surge in numbers of people really wanting to be happy. So because there was a surge also of course takers, they decided to give it for free. So you can check it out at Coursera. You can check it out at Coursera. It's a Coursera course. So that's Coursera. So just check that out. Okay. So again, you can go to thehale.com and look for the Pursuit of Happiness, Yale. That's YALE. Okay. Yale's free course on how to be happier. Yeah. Okay. So guys, the key here, I'm giving you now some links and some tools, diba? The key here is getting started. So I can give you, diba? I can simplify and already give you the link, diba? So, but if you don't click that, you don't read up on it, and you don't take the many steps after, sayang lang. Okay? So if you guys want to be happy, walk to it. Okay? Take this course and learn and build as much healthy happiness in yourself and in your life, because there is a lot. I swear, there is a lot of work, diba, that we need to do in order for us to reach the life of complete happiness. All right? So anyway, speaking of happiness, I want to make just an announcement. Next week, our topic is still on mental health. And more importantly, we have a guest, and he is one of our mentors in our team, diba? And aside from being an Emerald director in our company, he took up a neuro-linguistic programming and hypnosis courses, and now he actually gives or specializes in talk therapy. So I think the first month of the year, guys, is a good way to start on healing and building the tools that will help us cope and navigate the intricacies of our goals, of our lives, of this pandemic. Okay? So next week, join us, diba, as we tackle and talk about the applied side of mental health. Kasi ang dami-dami na nagbibigay ng advice. Like yung kanina, si Miss Lignay ba yun? Sabi niya, you have to do self-awareness, but what is, diba, where and how, what are the, so we'll talk about the applied side of it. How did we do it, diba? How did we overcome our own loneliness, our own sadness, our own depression, our own threats, diba? So we're going to be sharing that with you guys. So that's so next week, tune in, okay? 7:00 here again at DZRJ 8:10 a.m. So we have our guest, Mentor Eric Javier. Okay, now it's 7:34. So it's the last what? Can you do the math for me? I think that's the last 26 minutes of our show, and that means on to our super awesome version creation of ourselves. So this is like a laboratory, right? You find all the IQ tools, right? The EQ tools, so that you can put yourselves together, o, diba? So meron pa bang ikaw ikagagaling, ikagaganda, or ikabubuti, guys? Good news, meron, super meron, diba? There's more than one version of yourself, and I think and for me, if you ask me, version 1 is, if you ever get to version 1, that's just a patikim of what you are totally made of. Okay, there's version 2 of you, version 3, 4, 5, 6, and whatever, diba? So on and so forth. And for me, also that makes sense, diba? Because if we were created in the image and likeness of our maker, why will there only be version 1? Syempre more, o, diba? If the universe keeps expanding, so can we, and so will we. All right. So now that we will hugot again from within ourselves, diba? That power that shows the image and likeness or our heritage from our creator. So last week we started with the first part of self-healing. So I hope that you guys were able to watch it again and again, because you have to master that and then apply it, okay? So we started on that. So I won't go into details, because you can just go back to this January 8th and watch our episode. That's a prerequisite, actually, especially if you're a beginner. And so that's, now we're just going to make, we're going to do a continuation of that episode. So if that one was self-healing part 1, this is self-healing part 2. Okay? I realized kasi there were some missing key steps and points. Sayang naman if you don't get to maximize the inner gift that we all have. Okay? So now, guys, let's move on. Eto, I'm gonna give you a scenario. Whenever I am sitting down for self-healing or lying down, okay, I not only make sure of my healing targets, okay, I have to make sure that I know what parts of my body that I want to heal. But I also make sure that I am intuitively listening and following the responses or reactions of my body, my heart, my mind, and my soul. All right? Kasi these responses or reactions of my body, they are like our compass, okay? Kasi self-healing is basically intuitive healing. Okay, we have to, intuitive healing. So let's just discuss one aspect of it. Intuitive healing means you need to know exactly what it is that you want to heal, and what it is what it is somehow that your body is trying to tell you, so that you can give the instructions for healing. Okay, so but let me just tell you, as I said last time, that I want to emphasize this, that when I talk about intuitive healing, all right, I'm not talking or listening to the response, or listening and following. Sorry. When I talk about intuitive healing, the part where we listen and follow the responses of reactions of our body, I'm not talking about being positive about being a negative person, okay, or I'm not talking about positive or negative thoughts, or nor am I talking about positive or negative feelings, or I'm not talking about positive or negative persona or state. Okay, as I said, we neutralize these negative reactions or responses. So meaning, if we feel negative emotions or feel conflicted with, let's say, what we want to do in our healing, the bottom line there is that it's not the feeling that we will listen to. Now, oh no, parang there's something, I don't feel comfortable with this kind of thing, what to say or what. That's not what we are going to listen to instead is that that conflicted feeling of where to go or what to say or what instructions or what the body is trying to tell you. It's only a springboard to reorganize your thoughts into your healing instructions. Okay? So yun lang. So I'm emphasizing that when I talk about responses and reactions of our body, heart, mind, and soul, I'm not talking about the typical positive or negative connotation that we know, the stereotype that we know about it. It's not about negative thoughts, not about negative feelings, it's not about negative persona or negative state. So that's why I emphasize that 7:30, so I can turn this on. That's why I emphasize that that whatever negative response we get, it's just what my emphasis there is neutralizing it by not giving it enough, by not giving it more thoughts. Kumbaga. Okay? So now, assuming that we are now in the receiving state, you've done the first part, right? That means that you are already in a healing. That means you are already in a healing position. Let me just type my password. So anyway, that means that you're already in your healing position. Your intentions are ready, and you have your 15-minute healing and that you're already logged into your 15-minute healing meditation by Jessica Heslop, found on YouTube. Okay, and you can center on these. So anyway, so those are now. When I'm already in that state, let's say I'm seated now, I'm healing now. What do I do? Okay, what do I say? First, of course, guys. These are the self-healing instructions that I use, that you may also be able to use according to you may be able to use it according to your needs. Okay, so ito guys, the first, when I started this, these are the instructions that I use the word instructions. Intentions are different. Intentions, it's similar. The intentions most of the time kasi is what we want to happen. All right, it's like a prayer, diba? We intend, it's something that ito yung mga sinasambit natin na sana ganito, sana, or I want this, or like that. Okay, so to differentiate that, instructions is actually the applied side of the intentions, maybe to simplify that. So these are when I started, the first thing that I used was perfect health. Okay, and perfect health and longevity or long life. So those were actually my intentions, but now in my prayer healing, in my self-healing, I also started with this, but eventually, kasi nga it's intuitive healing, you will these were the other instructions that came out. Of course, perfect healing, perfect form, perfect function, perfect order, perfect supernatural, physiological, physical, cellular self-healing, perfect divine wellness, and perfect divine longevity. So, guys, perfect form, that means there's no, of course, walang defect, walang abnormality, walang disorder, okay? Walang degeneration. Perfect function, that means it's working perfectly as it should. Diba? So let's say for your vision, if you already have, let's say, you have poor vision and you make that part of your self-healing, perfect function means there that it's back to 20/20 vision, that your optic nerves are in that are in 100%, the 100% functioning healthily, diba? Perfect order, that means the system and the systemic with the organ systems, the tissue systems, everything, it's also going like clockwork. Perfect state, that means nothing is abnormal or out of ordinary, diba? Out of out of health, kumbaga. And then, okay, when I say intuitive healing, gusto ko lang i-share, no? When I started, when I started the when I started with I started with perfect health nga, as I said, divine perfect, divine longevity, but eventually this thing came out, divine wellness, perfect divine wellness, because that's what of course, what kind of health do I want? But of course, as powerful and as strong as that of our maker, di ba? What he can actually give to us, di ba? Then eventually, when I had more, like when I had the back, what else came out? Perfect form and perfect function came out. Medyo matagal na to eh, mga 3 years now. 3 years ago ko pa yata to nagamit. But when I had my back pain, ito yung mga intuitive healing instructions that my body told me, diba? Or I felt that my body was saying to me. So perfect order and perfect state, and perfect supernatural, physiological, physical, cellular, DNA, pa nga, self-healing. So you can use any of this. This can be your springboard, guys, okay? I don't know how these words will, I don't know if these words will make sense to you, okay? Maybe not right away, but I'm sure perfect health will resonate with you. Perfect longevity, long life will resonate with you. So find that. Okay, again, even if it doesn't resonate with you, let's say parang it doesn't resonate, or parang feeling mo it's not fit with you, but you want to use it, diba? But you want to use it. Let's say the words perfect, supernatural, physiological, physical, cellular, DNA level self-healing. Let's say you want to use that and parang hindi mo siya pa maintindihan masyado. So it's not connecting with you, diba? You can use it, diba? You can start using it and let those words talk to your body, or that part of your body that you want to heal. And for sure, there will be other instructions that will come up, and that's what you will use. Okay? So those are the self-healing instructions and intentions. So repair and restore to perfect health, perfect form, perfect function, perfect order, perfect state, perfect supernatural, physiological, physical, cellular, DNA self-healing, perfect divine wellness, and perfect divine longevity. So those are my go-to self-healing instructions. Startup. Sila yung mga ginagamit ko. Okay? Now, next. You have the tools. You have tools that connect you to that healing, because you have to use that, diba? Sa akin nga, sometimes it can be as simple as pen paper, but I will explain. So, kasi the connecting tools, this one is kind of complicated kasi basically there are no really set of healing tools. Maybe if you're a doctor and you had a stethoscope, di ba? Pwede paggamit mo yun. But usually, stethoscope is for detecting lang. Pero, di ba? You want to talk to your body, I think a stethoscope is a perfect tool to communicate, kasi that's the one that can listen to your insides, di ba? Yan yung parang pwede siyang mag-act ng speaker. So, if you want to, okay, I want to heal my kidneys, ganon. But anyway, so there are really no set of particular tools, but there are basics that are already within your reach, okay? Your words or your instructions, those are your tools. So, your words, your instructions, or your thoughts, diba? You also use your hands, okay? Every part of it, your digits, the tip of your fingers, your fist, your palm. And then for me, just when I was doing my self-healing, kasi iba hindi ko na ma-reach, kunwari the middle part of my back, and I wanted to heal that. I think also it also using pen and paper, diba? Writing the instructions there, or intentions, and then attaching that paper on that part, right? Will also help, because it's not really the pen paper or the modality. It's just that it helps it helps guide your mind to the spot that you can't reach, to the unreachable spot that you want to heal. Yun lang yun, diba? Hindi yung pen and paper na magic. It's not that. It's still your words and connecting that words to that part of the body that you want to heal. Okay, now So I also use any tools that I think that might be applicable. Okay, so when I had a lower back pain, the first I before that I just got all these massage tools. Okay, and the most recent one when it was really painful, I got this back archer, which was only 113 pesos. So, diba? So kinuha ko yung mga kapatid ko. Alexa, stop. Excuse me, guys. So anyway, I also use that back archer, okay, as for my stretching tools. Now, it works sort of like, so aside, because it's a physical, it's already a back archer. It's obviously already a stretching tool, diba? It's not like the pen and paper. It's not a stretching tool, but similarly, diba, it acts the same way. So para mo siyang parang lang it helps parang it helps you lang more on dealing with or handling also that spot for my back pain physically, diba? Now, so ang ginagawa, so you can also use that. It's not a spiritual tool, ha? So please, I'm just making that clear. The pen and paper is not a spiritual tool either. All right? So walang ganon. Hindi to ano ba? Mangkepoeng, walang ganon. Hindi siya ganon, guys. So but those are also the tools that you can use. And for me, like the back stretcher, it's when it's there, parang I can feel kasi when I stretch my back using the back archer and when I'm doing my self-healing, I can feel where the sore spots are. And dahil alam ko yung sore spots, I also know parang it helps me get to that part, get to send my healing, self-healing instruction to that area. Diba? To that area. So, basically ganun siya. So in other words, so ito guys, kumbaga when it comes to self-healing, the connecting tools, you can combine anything, 'di ba? Wait lang, hold on, let me just read this. You will know what it is. So yun nga, you can combine anything because when you listen to your body intuitively, diba? Listen to what it's saying to you, you can combine tools. So what I'm saying is hindi kasi ito piecemeal approach. So kunwari you have but when I say piecemeal approach or yung paisa-isa or sanga-sanga, iba-iba, hindi siya ganon. So it's like it really so for example, ang ubo, di ba? When we have cough, usually we just take cough meds. But normally the cough doesn't go kasi there's a system, di ba? Ang cough kasi it's a process. Diba? There's a process na dinadaanan niya. So the kind of, this is what I found out. So the kind of treatment that we will put will include not just, diba? Not just the cough meds, baka it will also, baka in the second week, you can take naman cough meds for more than a week, diba? You'll probably be given antibiotic. Kung ayaw mo na antibiotic on that week, you can use lagundi and also combine it pa rin with honey and lemon or salabat with honey and lemon and all that. And then after 7 or 10 days, nando pa rin yung cough or it's dwindling, you can probably stop the lagundi or get another cough meds or maybe if it's still really bad, antibiotics. So ganun kasi ang cough is what I'm just trying to say. There is a process and sometimes it's systemic. In intuitive healing, it's the same. We follow a systemic or systematic process of the health issue itself. Kasi siguro the body cannot, the brain cannot agad receive all the instructions sabay-sabay, diba? So the body also communicates that part, communicates back to you, diba? The healing instruction ng paisa-isa din. I think, okay, I'm not sure. So yun. So you also have to have your tools, bahala ka. Sa akin, I use my hands or for my hands like that, diba? So kung anong gusto ko or whatever movement that I want that connects with what I want to do with that. So kunwari, what I want to do with that, let's say, physical limitation, like when I had this respiratory, when I had this light cough, parang last week, di ba? Yun lang yung parang I just moved it up. It's not the movement, but because it's as the pushing away, the taking out of the let's say the virus of or the bacteria, how you want it to happen, parang nag-associate yung movement with pushing it out of you. pushing it out of you. Yun lang. That association, that resonance to that particular movement, or to that particular movement of your body or your mind wants you to do in order to go for that self-healing. I hope you understand that part. Okay. So number 3, guys, ang very important then are the commands. So unlike usual healing intentions found in prayer forms na mahaba, parang thank you God that this will heal, that my God, etc. Hindi, you can actually simplify these healing intentions, and you can use words. So kunwari, when you say perfect health, itong ibig sabihin niya. When it says perfect form, you already have defined it in your mind. You've already defined it in your defined it even in your heart, diba? In your soul. So pag sinabing perfect health, ito yung mga ibig sabihin niyan. So for me, simplify as you can of course start with the long instructions, the long intentions, because eventually ang goal mo sana, or magigets mo sana, it leads you to that process na sometimes you only need one healing word, diba? Or one healing word, or any healing word that resonates goodness for that part. See, the thing pala, okay. So you can simplify these and use only the words like heal. For me, ito yung ginagamit ko. Heal, or thank you, or sometimes I use the word love, or anything that promotes good vibrations or responses in your mind, heart, and body. So what I like to remember here is, ito, ano ba yung parang very principle, maybe that's why it's responding. This always reminds me of the water experiment by the Japanese scientist. Na I think na-mention ko na sa inyo, di ba si, wait ha, sana ba siya? Si the scientist Emoto. Okay, you look it up. Masaru Emoto here. Diba? He was a Japanese businessman, diba? He's also an author and a pseudoscientist daw. Pseudoscientist pala siya. But he wrote this book, The Hidden Messages in the Water, and where the experiment was saying thank you to the water, and saying good words to the water versus saying bad words to it. Okay. When you use bad words on water, when you use good words, beautiful crystal formations happen. Whereas dun sa negative words, when you say negative words to the water, parang walang clear formation, parang kalat-kalating mga yung formation na makita mo. So since we are 80% made of our bodies made of 80% water, by virtue of that experiment alone, our words to our bodies can impact us. So sa akin, the commands that you can use, it doesn't matter what commands you use, for as long as it resonates with you and your body knows and your mind knows exactly or your mind and your body knows exactly what this healing, what these inward intentions are for. So for example, ako talaga I used to make long intentions, diba? Until I parang in my head, siyempre, di ba, parang inalign ko siya. When I say this, it's like this. So nakatrain yung mind ko na when I say this word heal, it means ito, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So perfect healing, perfect state, perfect form, bahala ka. Di ba? Or so yun. So when I just put my hand, let's say on my back or on the affected area, and then on the affected area, so tawag dito. So my body now is able to respond quickly and efficiently. So ganun siya kasi nandun na siya. So yung mga commands, in other words, it doesn't have to be so lengthy. Eventually, your goal is to understand, is to make yourself understand and to train yourself that when you say this particular word, this is what it means. When you say this particular the word healing, ito yung what it encompasses. All right? So anyway, self-healing is all about the self-healing words, using them as instructions and understanding the value of these words. Okay? So we can intuitively use these to repair and restore our physical health. Diba? To perfect health and to perfect state or to perfect form or to perfect function. Diba? Perfect divine wellness. Now, I will repeat, we still need, guys, medical professionals or even medicine Okay? Because it's still holistic. It's still holistic healing, guys. We still need to eat healthy, be fit. We need to still take the highest rated nutritionals. We have to still develop inner peace, diba? Dapat because our body, we still need to, aside from going to the doctor, diba? And itong self-healing na modality na nga, this process, right? Because our body is so complex. Okay, so I'm just gonna repeat: we're not discounting the medicine and the medical field, of course not, because it has to still be basically science-based. Even when I do my self-healing, it's still science-based, diba? It's not. Parang I still talk about the function, the organs, the system, lahat, the organs in the system. It's still part of my it's still part of my it's still part of science is very much part of because it makes me understand, because our body is diba, it is designed in a way it's a biological, very biological, therefore it's very science based. So that's why I don't discount medicine, especially for big for ailments, diba, that seem unconquerable. All right, so anyway, yun nga diba? So on that note, I also want to emphasize that you don't need to wait, diba, till you are sick to do self-healing. Habang bata ka pa, habang wala ka pang sakit, better, diba? I recommend that. If ang kotse nga, we need, diba, for repair and ang kotse nga needs tune up for maintenance, paano pa yung katawan natin, okay? So let me end this with this verse that I picked up from Genesis chapter 5, verse 1. So it says, this is the book of the generation of Adam. Okay, mankind, tayo. And when God created man, He made him in the image of likeness. And I think the self-healing, guys, is one of the self-healing is one of the mechanisms that He left with us, being in His image and likeness. Very much untapped pa talaga yung ating what we can do with our mind and with our head, diba? So anyway, I think this So this is the self-healing, this image and likeness, diba? Being created in His image and likeness is one of my favorite promise of God to us. Okay, so thank you for tuning in, guys, and I hope that this episode tonight is very useful for you, to your wellness and your well-being as well. So this is the it's already 8:01. So saying good night and a healthy you all throughout your this year and all throughout your life. So maraming salamat. See you again next Saturday.
The views